Hi guys, welcome to Python tutorial series. In this video, I would like to discuss how do we create functions using def keyword in Python. We understand creating functions using def keyword in Python. Before that, we have to understand what is a function. Function is a set of statements meant to perform a specific task. What is a function? Function is a set of statements meant to perform a specific task. Whenever we need to do a task, we create a function for it, guys. For example, if I want to add two numbers, I create the add function. If I have to find area of circle, I create a function called area of circle. There are different ways of creating functions in Python. There are different ways of defining functions in Python. One way is using the def keyword. One way is using the def keyword. In Python, a function is defined using def keyword. Def define. The syntax is simple. We write def, then we write the function name. In brackets, we pass set of parameters. And a function may or may not accept parameters, or may not have parameters, guys. Then we write set of statements to be executed and a return statement. By default, none is returned if there is no return statement, guys. If there is no return statement, by default a function returns none. We'll have a demo and understand everything clearly step by step, guys, so don't worry. Functions in Python are executed only when they are called. So when you create a function, it will not get called automatically. You have to call it. How do you call a function? You write the function name. In brackets, you pass the parameters, guys. Based on the presence of parameters and the return statement. Functions are categorized into four types, guys. Based on the presence of parameters and return value, functions are categorized into four types. They are a function without parameters without return value, a function with parameters without return value, a function with parameters and with return value, a function without parameters and with return value, guys. Let's understand how do we create these different types of functions in Python step by step using the def keyword. First, a function without parameters and without return value. Here I want to do a task. The task is simple. I want to display hi on the screen. For that, I'm going to create a function called wish hi. How do we create a function using def? First we write the def keyword, then we write the function name. Here I'm saying wish hi and empty brackets. This function doesn't need any parameters. Then colon. Statement to be executed is print hi. You can see I am not using any return statement here, so it is without return value. So it is an example for a function without parameters, without return value. I told you, if you want to execute a function, you have to call it. How do we call? We write the function name and then brackets. You can see it is empty brackets because this function doesn't accept any parameters. Let's go to Python, ideally shell, and here I have a Python file. Let's have a demo. Let's create the wish hi function. I say here def, function name is wish underscore hi, bracket, then colon. You can see this function is not accepting any parameters. Okay, what it should print? It should print hi. Now I created the function. I save this one, and if I run this, we don't get any output. We don't see hi displayed here. Why? Because functions are executed only when we call them. So how do we call? We write the function name wish hi bracket. See here, empty brackets. This is called calling a function. I save this and say run module. You see now it has displayed hi, right? When you call a function, it executes the statements of that function. So print hi is displayed here. If I call once again wish hi, it will execute the function once again. I save it and say run module. You see now we have 2 times hi displayed. Right? So this is how you create a function and call, guys. Okay, and I also told you that if you don't have return statement, by default a function returns none. Like if I say here print wish hi, okay, what it does, it returns none here. If I save this and say run module, you see we are getting none, right? What happens here is first wish hi function is called, the print function displays the hi. and then it returns none back here, none. So this print has displayed none, guys. Okay, so this is a function. Okay, whenever I call this wish high function, whenever I call the wish high function, it just displays high. I save it and say run module. You see high, high. If I call again, I save it and say run module, it says high. Okay, now what I want actually is, now whatever I say to wish, it should wish that. For that, we take help of another type of function, that is a function with parameters without returning value. This time we create a function called wish, which accepts a parameter. So here what is a parameter, guys? Let's see here. I'm going to delete this. I define one more function called as wish. This time it is not going to be empty. It is going to ask what to wish. So what is a parameter here? Parameter name can be anything, guys. Just follow the identifier, naming identifier rules. Then I say here colon. This time print is going to display value inside what? It is going to display value inside the what parameter. See, if I save this and say run module, nothing we see. Nothing we see. Why? Because we have to call it. And how do we call? We'll write the function name. This time it is asking what to wish. Here I pass the parameter value, that is good morning, as a string. Now wish function is called, good morning is stored in the what, and print function displays good morning. I save it and say run module. You see, now it is saying good morning. Now I can say whatever I want. I say here wish. This time you have to wish good afternoon. I save it and say run module. You see, now it is saying good morning and good afternoon. I copy this and paste down. If I say here goodbye, I save it and say run module. You see, it is saying goodbye, right? So that is the importance of parameters inside function, guys. What is happening here? When wish function is called, good morning is stored in what? Print function displays good morning. Next time when wish function is called, good afternoon is stored in what? Good afternoon is displayed. Next time goodbye is stored in what? And goodbye is displayed, guys. Understanding? Let's see one more example. If required, function can have multiple parameters. Okay, see, now I want to do addition of two numbers. I can say def function name add. It accepts two values, value 1 comma value 2. So now this function has two parameters. What it does? It prints value 1 plus value 2. So this add function is an example of a function with parameters without return value. How do we call this function? We'll say add. We pass values 10 comma 20. So when add function is called, 10 is stored in value 1, 20 is stored in value 2. Print function displays 10 plus 20, 30. I save it and say run module. You see, 30 is displayed. I can call one more time add function. I say here 30 comma 20. Now what output we get, guys? Of course, definitely displays 50. You see, we got 50. So that is how we create a function with parameters without return value. Okay. Next, a function with parameters with return value. Okay, let's create a function with parameters and with return value. Here I am creating a function called as square. S-Q-U-A-R-E, square. It takes a value. What it does, instead of printing, it returns value multiplied by the value. So that is square, right? Value multiplied by value is square, right? Now I call the square function with value 2. What happens here? If I save this and say run module, we don't get any output. Why we are not getting any output? Because we are not using the print function. I give this square function to print square of 2. Print square of 2. First square of 2 is called, 2 is stored in the value, 2 into 2 is 4, is returned back this place, guys. That is 4. Print function displays 4 on the screen. I save it and say run module. You see, we got 4. Now what I do, I create one variable called as r value, that is return value, equal to, r value should be equal to square of 3. Now what happens? The square function is called, 3 is stored in the value, 3 into 3 is 9, 9 is stored in the r value. Now we can display print r value. We'll get 9. Save and say run module. You see we got 9. So if you want, you can get the return value, store in a variable and use guys in your program. Now let me create cube function. Def cube, it accepts a value. So this is a function with parameter colon. It returns value multiplied by value multiplied by value, right? Multiplying value 3 times is a cube, right? We are getting cube of a number here. So I can simply say print cube of 2. What happens here? Cube of 2. 2 is stored in the value. 2 into 2 is 4. 4 into 2 is 8. So 8 is displayed guys. I save and say run module. You see 8 is displayed. If I want, I can store the return value in a variable, right? So I say here R value should be equal to cube of 3 and then print the R value. So 3 is stored in the value. 3 into 3 is 9. 9 into 3 is 27. 27 is stored in the R value. It displays 27. I save it and say run module. You see 8, 27 are displayed, right? So this is a function with parameter with return value guys. One last type we have, that is a function without parameters and with return value. Okay, this function doesn't take any parameter, but it returns a value. It returns a value. Let's go back and see. Here I am defining a function called as pi. It is not taking any parameter here, but it returns value of pi, which is 3.142. Here I say print the return value of pi. So what happens? Pi function is called here. It returns 3.142 here. Print function displays that. I save it and say run module. You see 3.142 is displayed. So it's an example of a function without parameters with return value. If you want, we can return the Euler number E. Euler number 2.718, and if I say E, I save it and say run module. You see it has displayed 2.718. So these are the different types of functions we have guys. Now why functions? What's the use of functions? Functions in Python are created for dividing a larger problem into smaller tasks. Okay, divide a larger problem, we divide it into smaller tasks. For each task we create a function and we'll use those functions to solve the larger problem guys. Next, reusability. Once a function is defined, it can be called multiple times. Just create a function and you can reuse it just by calling it. And abstraction, hiding the implementation details. So that is about the functions using def keyword in Python guys. I suggest you people to watch this video 1 or 2 times, execute each of these functions, experiment, understand. If you still have any doubts, feel free to put them in the comment section. I'll be happy to clear guys. In the upcoming video tutorials, we discuss more about Python in depth, step by step. For more benefits and be up to date, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep learning, keep coding, keep sharing. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.